Travis Kelce, I know that name is overused. You hear about this guy all the time, obviously because of his girlfriend and because he's a very good NFL player.
Yeah, he's a football player, right?
Come on. If you don't know that by now, Lizz's head is in the sand. One thing that he does do is he makes sure that there are those who are less fortunate that are fed. And so I was just reading that he donated like 25,000 meals to the youth in Kansas City.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, and this is something that he's been doing for the past 4 years now. Is helping to provide those meals, yeah.
Because, naysayers that are kind of over the whole Travis Kelce and
I
Taylor
am.
Swift thing.
That's enough.
But they may say, well, he only did it because he's kind of out there in the spotlight with her right now. But if he's been doing that for 4 years and this is the first that we're hearing about it, I actually like that better.
It's called the 87 and Running Foundation. And
is that
so
his
he's
number?
been Yep, that's his number.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you.
Wow, she
Yay.
knows her football pretty
Where's
well.
my treat for getting that?
And then what he's doing through that organization is Operation Breakthrough and providing these meals to these kids.
Well, I think it's so good. If you can't feed their little tummies and they're hungry, then they're not paying attention in school, just the way the body works.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I don't know who the people are that you trust in your life. There's this one guy that really trusts his doctor. And so this is a few years ago. He's talking to his doctor. He goes, listen, somebody keeps stealing my lunch. Every day it seems like somebody steals my lunch at work. I don't know why. I'm not eating that much. And the doctor kind of looked at him and all he said was, you're constipated. The guy's like, what? You're constipated. So he grabbed out his prescription, little card or whatever it is, the pad, and starts writing a prescription. And he said, listen, you go to the pharmacy, you pick this up, mix it in with your lunch. And because this will help your constipation. And the guy's like, oh.
I see what you're doing there.
I like my doctor. His doctor didn't say he wasn't constipated or anything like that. He goes, listen, you just mix this in with your lunch and bring it. You got to eat this in your lunch, mix it in your lunch. You can imagine what just happened after that.
Well, needless to say, they found the culprit who was stealing the guy's lunch pretty quickly. I guess he had to talk to HR as well about what he had done. He's like, look, I've been having tummy issues, and my doctor wrote me a prescription for that.
Well,
Probably
here's
not
the
way to
thing. The
handle it.
person who kept stealing the lunch said, listen, he did this to me on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Why did he do this to me on purpose? Guy said, this is my prescription. I'm constipated.
Yeah. And so the guy got caught red-handed, so to speak, and had to go to HR, and he has now stopped stealing his lunch.
And this was years ago. So this guy said, listen, I don't know if you've ever had anybody steal your lunch, but this is what the doctor did for me. I don't think I'd recommend that for anybody. I wouldn't want to do that to somebody. Honestly.
I don't either.
It sounds really sinister and funny, but I would be so guilty.
Oh, yeah.
That I did that to somebody's stomach.
I couldn't. If I suspected someone, I think I'd just keep watch and then maybe have a conversation. Like, can you stop taking my bologna sandwich? Like, please?
Or I start making a lunch that has no meat in it. Just
Right?
a couple of pieces of bread with mustard on it.
Right? Maybe pack some liver mush or something that nobody else is going to want.
So here's the open mic from the My HISRadio app.
Oh my goodness, you guys. I have a friend who's a baker in Rocky Mount. They had their bakery going, and this guy kept having the same problem with people stealing stuff out of the fridge, So he goes, I want you to make something, because he was trying things out with hot stuff. So he made them these cake pops with, they're worse than ghost peppers. It had a double the ghost pepper thing. Put those in the brownies, and they put them in the fridge at that guy's work. Within an hour, that guy came running out of the kitchen, the guy that was the culprit, came running out of the kitchen, tears streaming, sweat on his face, everything, and was like screaming. It burned his lips, literally had burns. It was awful. But he stopped stealing those things out of the fridge.
Oh, that's a hard lesson.
Wow. And it's so hot
Ouch.
it burns your lips?
Mm-mm.
My goodness gracious. Those cake pops weren't yours, sir.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I believe that many people will provide the $2 million to complete the building for his radio.
That is so sweet. Thank you for that open mic. That really encourages us today.
Yeah, it really does. You know, that building fund, we started this project back in the summer, but it was a dream long before that. But we were led by God over the summer just to break ground and get this thing moving.
Outdated and out of room, seriously, because the team have expanded, and there's 500,000 people a week that receive hope and encouragement every single week from his radio. And so we have a big goal to raise the rest of the dollars needed to complete the project that we started over the summer. The rest of it is $2 million. And good news I have to share with you, we're $15,000 of the way there now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we did hear this morning from Karen, Kelly and Jeff, Josiah and Vanessa, and Melissa and Kim, all giving toward this. So that got us toward the $15,000, toward the $2 million. Here's the thing. Pray, if you would. I firmly believe that there are people that can help with a leadership gift. I feel in my heart somebody can do $1 million. I don't know why, and I'm just throwing that out there. $1 million, I really firmly believe that somebody will do, or a couple of people will get together to do that. $1 million. Now, maybe God's throwing something on your heart and you're like, well, Dempsey, that ain't no million. I'll tell you that. But could it be $1,000 or a $5,000 gift or a $500 gift? Because there's a lot of people that are helping out. As you can see, there's a lot of people that helped out to get to the $15,000 toward the $2 million that we need by, you ready for this? This is big faith here, next week. Next Thursday.
Next Thursday. But you don't have to wait until next Thursday to get involved. Deborah texted and said she's already praying that we meet this goal. And we
Thank you, Deborah.
Appreciate that so very much. But you can give your gift, one-time special gift to this building fund. Even right now in this moment, text the word GIVE. That's the easiest way. Text the word GIVE to 800-447-7234. We'll send you a link right back.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
What do you call your spouse? Liz calls her husband, what is it? Chum-chums?
What?
I just made that up. I don't know.
Chum-chums.
I don't know.
No, schmoopy.
That's it.
He doesn't
Schmoopy.
like it, though. He don't like it.
You don't like schmoopy?
He don't like it.
I wouldn't like schmoopy either. I might like chum-chums better. I don't know. Schmoopy. Schmoopy. Schmoopy?
Schmoopy.
It's like Snoopy, but a schmoop.
But schmoopy.
So here's Kara. Kara's got a generic one. It's babe.
Well, yeah. And that's the way she refers to her husband all the time. It's just, hey, babe, I need you to do this. Hey, babe, when are you going to be home?
They have a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
And the 2-year-old's picking up on this.
Yeah. So dad's in the restroom, and the kid's standing outside the door going, babe, babe.
Not dad.
Babe.
Hey, babe.
Babe.
Can I use the potty?
Babe.
Yeah, babe. This is their son or their son, right?
Yeah. And then dad walks out of the restroom and just sort of like rolls his eyes at mom, like, seriously.
Yeah, he's calling me babe now.
Right, but it's not her
My
fault.
son, he called me daddy.
I know, but it's a term of endearment.
Babe.
So my little granddaughter, Jessie, says honey a lot. And she'll say, it's hot, honey.
I
But
love
she says that to anybody. It's hot, honey.
It's hot, honey.
Yeah.
So Alan and Nellene Henderson, who are here, they've been here since the beginning of his radio, since 1983. They have a grandson. Is it grandson? Or I think their granddaughter at the beginning, when she was just little, would look at Alan and not say grandpa and not say papa, Bobby.
Bobby?
And so now Alan forever will be Bobby to his grandkids.
Oh, I love that. And those are the best. When the kids come up with them, I mean, you can say, I want them to call me grandmama or whatever it is.
Grandmama.
Well, yeah.
Where'd that come from?
I had one of those grandparents. But, whatever the kid comes up with, that's what it's going to be.
So it
That
might
is
be
it.
Bobby. What about you? We'd love to hear from you today.
Megan said when my husband and I were dating, and she texted this in, she called him Kylikins, but now that they're married, it has changed to Hubbykins, and she has put that in her contacts as well.
Hubbykins.
Hubbykins.
I love it. Okay, here's an open mic that just came in.
My husband referred to his grandmother as Bop.
Bop.
Bop?
Hey, Bop.
I kind of like that.
How you doing, Bop? I love that.
All right, so Vicky texted and said, okay, we have a grandson who they wanted to be called Granny and Grumps, but instead it ended up they are now here to forever Nanny and Gump. Okay, so they got close.
Okay.
They just didn't get the whole thing.
Yeah.
Maria, this is my favorite one. She texted and said, "My 3-year-old granddaughter calls me Rob."
Okay. I kind of like that.
But where did it come
That's
from?
my name.
Just Rob.
That's
Rob,
good.
I need you.
Okay, here's another open mic that came in through the My HISRadio app.
My husband and I call each other baby, but the funniest thing is I work with someone whose granddaughter calls him Daddy-O, and I just crack up every time she comes in to visit her grandfather and, "Hi, Daddy-O."
Yo, Daddy-O. I
Daddy-O,
love it.
I'm going to need a piece of candy.
Here's the open mic that just came in.
Good morning, Rob and Liz. Talking about grandparents' names. My grandfather used to always say, "Roger Dodger, you old codger." And when my niece heard that when she was little, she always ended up calling my grandfather Papa Dodger. So it always stuck. And that's what we knew him from that point on, was Papa Dodger.
That's like the coolest grandpa name.
It really
Papa Dodger.
is. And whatever the kids come up with, that's what it's going to be. Nina said her oldest couldn't say grandma when he was little, and so her mother became Franma. And now that's what she is.
Fran.
Yeah, because he couldn't say grandma, so he said Fuema.
And there you go.
And there you are.
It sticks. Another open mic just came in through the My HISRadio app.
When my daughter was about 3 years old, we realized she had 2 grandmas, and it was hard to keep track of which one was who. So I asked her if she could rename one of them, and we had just finished listening to a British English version of Itsy Bitsy Spider, and it was called Eensy Weensy Spider. So my mother will now forever be called Eensy.
Eensy.
I like Eensy. And it comes from such a really cool place, the Itsy Bitsy Spider. Eensy Weensy is the British version. Didn't know that.
Yeah, now we do.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I don't know if you've ever just felt that tug on your heart. It's like God is leading you to do something. And it's like, how is this ever going to be accomplished? Because this thing is just so much bigger than me. I can't do this. And then God's like, well, believe bigger, my child. It's Rob and Liz in the morning, HISRadio. That's where we are at HISRadio. We stepped out in this big step of faith, and it's like, God, how is this ever going to be accomplished? This is so much bigger than we could ever even ask or imagine. And God's like, okay, HISRadio, believe bigger. Believe in what you talk about, because this is people that we're talking about that just need so much hope and needs to have that transformed life in Christ.
Right. And you have the opportunity to come alongside God working through you and your gifts for this building. We're talking about a building for the team that has been growing over the last 30 years, kind of out of space. The technology is outdated. And if we're going to keep with the times and keep going with HISRadio, spreading the love of Jesus, really more than just in our backyard, but all around the world, then these things, it's not something we just want to happen, but absolutely needs to happen.
We've been working through phases of this because we started the building with the money that was set aside for it in the middle of the summer. And here we are in another couple of phases that's in front of us. And God's like, hey, believe bigger, spell it all out, what you need. And so we are. And on Thursday, we'll be asking for your help to complete the project, and it's $2 million.
Yeah.
$2 million. Can I tell you, already there's a jump start in this. 15,000 has come in. Thanks to Michelle and Ed, who we heard from today, Mark, Elizabeth. Here is Deborah. We also heard from Michelle and Joyce. Thank you so much for your help and your generosity already with a jump start toward next week.
Right. And you do not have to wait until next week to do it. You can join that list of names that Rob just read off and give your gift of support right now. It's super easy. Just text the word GIVE. We'll send you a link. GIVE to 800-447-7234. Go online, hisradio.com or the My HISRadio app.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
It's Rob and Liz in the morning, HISRadio.
There's this guy named Morton, and I love Morton. I love what he does. I feel like he's frugal. Like he wants to hold on to his pennies a little longer. And so when he goes traveling, and he seems to travel a lot for work and play, he doesn't spend a lot on souvenirs. What he does is he keeps the hotel key cards. So from wherever he's going.
Okay.
I have some of those.
I do too.
Yeah.
Why do you have them?
So for this reason that Morton does, I want to put together like a shadow box in my house for all the travel that we do. So if we go overseas or there's a different currency or whatever, I want to save some of the currency and put it in there, maybe a pressed flower and the hotel key card.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
When my kids were just a tad bit younger, they liked Daddy's hotel keys. And so when I traveled, I'd bring them back to them because hotels don't ask for them back anymore.
No, they really don't. Used to, man, if you didn't turn that thing in, you'd get some sort of charge.
Got in trouble.
You did.
Yeah.
Or you weren't fully checked out, which is another night at the hotel. But
Right?
now it's sort of like, yeah, you're good. You're fine.
Just take it with you.
Yeah.
And so my kids used to have them all the time.
What did they do with them? Like, did they
Nothing really.
really? See, I would have thought they would play like they were on a business trip or they would travel somewhere and that would be their key card to get into their bedroom.
Maybe that just turned into a dad thing, just bringing them home thinking that they really did want them. Because now as I look back, they really didn't do anything with them.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
The police will deliver your food to the door.
That is awesome.
I know,
That's
right?
cool. Yeah, thank you.
This happened. I can't remember what state it was in, but literally, and this lady has it on her Ring camera. Where DoorDash came, she opened it up, and there's a police officer there with the food. And she's like, why you? Where's the? He said, well, I had to arrest, but you still needed your food, so I brought it here. So he had to arrest the DoorDash driver
So many
before they
questions.
got there. I know, right? I have no idea why, but he cared enough to deliver the food.
That I wonder how far it was out of his way. I mean, that's above and beyond. Like that is you're saving lives, but you're also saving dinner.
Right?
That's very nice.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
There's a bride in California, and she was so excited about her wedding, doing all the planning, had gotten the caterer, had gotten the venue, working with her parents. The parents always foot the bill for the bride. Well, in most cases. And so they got really close to the wedding, about 2 weeks out. Something happened between she and her fiance.
Uh-oh, so they broke
called
up?
It off.
Oh, no.
They called it off. And I don't know whose idea it was, not laying blame here. Everything at that point, a couple weeks out, is pretty much non-refundable. So a $15,000 reception, the catering, the DJ, the lights, everything was already set in place. So I guess she sat back and she thought, what in the world am I going to do with this? I don't want any part of it. She donated it. She donated the entire $15,000 reception to a group in California called Parents Helping Parents, and it's a group for parents and their children with special needs.
For real?
Yeah. So you had some kids that have Down syndrome. You have kids that are paraplegic, and they were there. And they were dancing, and they were loving, and they were eating, and they were with their parents. They had a firework display.
Look at that.
End of it.
Good for them. I'm glad she did what she did. So it went to somebody who could really use a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if she didn't go, she didn't show up, and I get that because, she might have been lamenting all night about, I could have been here at my wedding
she's
reception.
sitting at home with the Ben and Jerry's.
Right? And some wings.
Wings?
Wings and ice cream.
Okay.
That's what happens after a breakup.
I want to make sure you pronounced wings.
Wings.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I so love what Samaritan's feet are doing. It's Rob and Liz in the morning, His Radio. Feet has everything to do with feet and has something to do with elementary students and getting brand new shoes on their feet.
Right. It's a school in upstate South Carolina, Berea Elementary School. They have 500 students who all are wearing some new kicks today.
Isn't that nice?
I think it's so cool.
They all got free shoes, and many of those students really needed them. I love these organizations got together, one of them being Southeastern Freight Lines, who helped develop Samaritan's Feet, get all these shoes for these students to have.
Yeah, well, the teachers, the administrators, they started seeing really at the beginning of the year, the beginning of the school year, that some of the kids were wearing some worn out shoes. They needed some new kicks. Not that they just wanted a new pair, but they absolutely needed them. And so they started the ball rolling and, I guess reached out to Samaritan's Feet, got some others involved, and 500 kids all have those new shoes today.
They all got into the one big room, that common room that every school has. I don't know if it was their cafeteria, but I love all the signs that they had around when they were giving the shoes to all these students, literally fitting them on their feet, made sure they fit, and they walked out with the new kicks on their feet. It's so good. But all the sign says, we have hope. Huh. We have hope. It just so happens that a pair of shoes help give some hope to some kids.
And without hope, we have nothing.